Thank you, Mr President. The City of Sydney Council is privatising its waste collection services. It is disgraceful that the long-term and loyal workers who have been employed for decades by the Council to provide services for the community are seeing their work being overtaken by outsourcing. Council management and the City of Sydney Council failed to have an open tender process for this privatisation. The Council did not adequately notify or consult employees and the United Services Union about outsourcing jobs to Cleanaway Services. Despite not following adequate procurement procedures on Monday night, 18th of November, Lord Mayor Clover Moore and the City of Sydney Council voted 9-1 to privatise the jobs of long-term council workers. The lone opposition was Labor Councillor Linda Scott, who voted against the measure, and Councillor Scott has been fighting together with the United Service Union for these workers to rightfully keep their jobs. My colleague, Shadow Minister for Local Government, the Honourable Greg Warren, is also appalled by the treatment of these workers. Many of these long-term employees have been working for the Council for decades, with workers of 25 years. Lord Mayor Clover Moore and her independent councillors put forward that they are a progressive voice for the City of Sydney, but it is clear by their actions they are not interested in ensuring that loyal, dedicated and well-trained workers keep their careers. They would rather outsource and privatise. They are additionally outsourcing to a company where questions have been raised about underperformance with their service standards and their current contracts with Council. Outsourcing to private companies undercuts the wages and conditions of all Council employees. Council management refused to meet the workers. The reasonable and legitimate questions of affected staff were ignored after failing to conduct an open tender process. Workers have been exceedingly distressed with their lack of job security, and on Monday night, when councillors expressed an interest in talking to the workers prior to voting, the council CEO refused to allow consultation, claiming that it contradicted the workers' contract and that a vote needed to occur on the contracting out of the workers' jobs first. The United Services Union disagreed with this interpretation, and Industrial Relations Chief Commissioner Kite also disagreed with the CEO, noting that there was nothing that would prevent the Council from consulting with workers. Appallingly, the majority of councils on that Monday night voted to outsource these workers' jobs without any consultation. It is clear that Council have not followed good governance and procurement practices. An open tender process did not transpire. Rather, during a tender process for another project, tenderers were told about outsourcing these workers' jobs. This method can be evaluated as clearly preempting the Council decision. It has also raised serious questions about whether there was a breach of Section 55 of the Local Government Act regarding tendering processes. The measures that Council used to justify privatising these jobs has been dubious. Council's costing, which they refused to make public, was not undertaken in using the standard methodology, and therefore the integrity of the costings can be challenged. It is not clear that it was the best value for money either. In evaluating costings of services, they did not use the industry standard of the current workers demonstrating their routes and their collection processes, but rather Council used the private contractor Cleanaway's unusual methodology. Without industry standard costing, it is impossible to conduct proper cost comparisons and future audits. Lord Mayor Clover Moore and her independents are justifying their outsourcing of these jobs by saying council workers will not lose their employment with the council and they will work in other areas. What the Lord Mayor fails to understand is these workers had careers they had worked their way up to for many years, all the way up to operating trucks and delivering waste management services to the community. They do not want to be forced into cleaning jobs. These workers are rightfully proud of their careers that they worked extremely hard to build in their areas of expertise, and the Lord Mayor voted to take those away. Council management have failed to follow proper procurement processes with the absence of a proper tender process, an absence of worker consultation, the dubious costings and using untrained strikebreakers. All of this does not pass the pub test, and we will be pursuing this matter.
Mr.
Thank you.
Deputy President.
The Honourable Waltz.